insight video today. A lot of the communication, a lot of insight and awareness I'm getting lately is to do with sort of things like the notion of bliss. And what does this mean? What does this mean as on our journey as we start to sort of shift our consciousness, shift our awareness? Well, bliss is this expansive space that we access within ourselves, like the infinite space. It's where we sort of open up and we become an open channel, start to sort of connect with our infinite self, or what many people seem to term or define as higher self. For me, I like to use the word infinite self because higher, again, has this notion of either sort of something being sort of like better or greater, when the infinite self is just this expansive self. It's this expansive self where energy and vibration and our source creator, our source vibration and frequency exists. And it's this in a vibration, in a state of consciousness. And our infinite self is where we start to sort of access these internal sort of this internal space, this expansive space that's within each being. It's our source vibration, source frequency, and we access this through practicing or connecting to the universal law of correspondence, which is a teaching that teaches us to know that within us, within our own energy, within our own source vibration frequency, that we can go into this space, and in this space that all things are created, all things are manifested, and this is the experience of our own source creator. Each and every one of us has a seed of essence within us, and each and every one of us is a source creator. And what's meant by that is we're all sort of born from source, and we're never separate from it. We're always connected to it. We're always aligned with it. That what allows us to be aligned with it is our consciousness, and our consciousness and the understanding and the awareness that within this source vibration is an infinite space where we can create and manifest at will, and we can create and manifest any reality. It also connects to the universal law of polarity, and the universal law of polarity teaches us that through this source space, that you know the polarity, universal law of polarity teaches us that within this infinite space, that you know there's many vibrations, many frequencies, and within this space, because the universal law of polarity talks about positive and negative, but they're all part of the same whole. There's like source creation is the infinite space of all creation, of all reality, and it's happening in one vibration, in one moment, in the eternal moment. And when our consciousness shifts to this, we start to realize there's no limitations, there's no barriers, and that within this infinite eternal moment there's no time and space. And when we start to realize this, we start to realize that there's no separation, that we're born of source, and even in this form, in this reality, in this human form, we're still connected to that source. So the infinite potential of that source vibration, source frequency is still available now, here, now, in this moment, in this time, in this eternal moment. And this eternal moment tells us that through the universal law of perpetual transmutation, which is another teaching, that within this eternal moment, at any time, we can shift and change reality. We can shift and change our reality through a vibration, through our consciousness. And consciousness is creation. Consciousness is the understanding, the awareness that through these vibrations, through these frequencies, that we can manifest and create and align higher frequencies. When I say higher, I mean like infinite frequencies. Like infinite frequencies are love, peace, compassion, joy, happiness. Limited vibrations are fear, doubt, worry, judgment, all those kind of things, but they're part of the same whole. But we also start to understand, as creators, we have a choice. We have a choice what we create. We have a choice what we manifest, and we can do this. And through the universal law of correspondence, we also understand that if we shift our consciousness to a space of bliss and awareness and a place of infinite, we also understand that these infinite vibrations, we can align with them, we can manifest them at will, and we can keep manifesting them till they become part of our reality, and they become a daily reality. So we're always in a space where we know that when something happens to us, something impacts us, that we can shift and change it. And you only do this by living within. Living within is living in the fifth dimensional reality, which is the reality of vibration and frequency. But it's also connected to the reality of what people are deeming as like heaven on earth, or like yeah, heaven on earth, which is this reality that we know that we're still connected to the infinite dimensions and realities like higher consciousness, higher awareness, or infinite awareness, infinite consciousness. And that within these realities, these masters, these beings, these guides, that they are us and we are them. And this is like the realization, and this is like the understanding. When we get to those states of consciousness, we realize that all these beings that are guiding us, and bringing universal consciousness and awareness, are us. We are them. We are still like a manifestation of that source vibration, that source creation. So like masters, ascended masters, um, are us and we are them. We are the same vibration. We are the same frequency. We are pure consciousness. We are pure awareness. And in this human form, this is the big shift. This is the big shift that's happening for many of us. As we start to align, we realize there's no separation. There is no limit. There is only infinite. And we start to realize this within our own lives. And when we start to realize this, this is when we start to bring online this source creator, this source creator, this source vibration frequency, and the understanding that there is no limitation. The only limitation is when we start to sort of like what we're creating is the limitation, and we're creating this. This is manifesting from us. And the universal law of correspondence, it teaches us this, that the universe is us and we are the universe. There is no separation. There is no limit. The only limit is the limitation in our minds. When we feel something's lacking, or we feel like something's missing. We are pure we are pure creation. We are pure perfection in this vibration, in this moment, in this reality, in this eternal moment, and we always have been. The only thing is, when we come down to this state of awareness and this dimension and this reality, as we come down from the higher planes of existence, or the infinite planes of existence, we come down into this human form. And when we come into this human form, because we come down these many different vibrations, we exist within the physical, and we have to start to awaken again to the infinite within us. And this is what this time and age is about. It's about aligning again and understanding that there is no separation. There is no time and space, and the infinite is what lives within us. We are all infinite, and there's infinite possibilities and infinite sort of vibrations, frequencies that are available to us and always have been. That there is no separation. So like the ascended masters, the archangels, guides, are all living in this one consciousness, and we're part of that one consciousness. There is no separation. So if we're part of that one consciousness, then the possibilities, the infinite possibilities, are accessible to each and every one of us. And all we have to do is shift our consciousness and live in a state where we know there's no separation. And when we start to do that, then we start to see that we can walk in bliss, we can walk in peace, we can walk in pure vibration, pure creation. There is no limitation, and this is what the shifting is happening. And this is part of the fifth dimensional shift, and this is part of the heaven on earth, which is where we start to realize, and we start to live within that universal law of perpetual transmutation, that we are conscious creative beings. We are energetic beings of light, vibrational frequency, and that we can live in those states of consciousness. We are not born to suffer. We were not born to suffer. We were born to create and manifest and live in joy. Each and every one being have come down here to live in joy and to express that joy, express that source creation, that seed of essence within each and every one of us. This is why we've come. We've come to bring the light, bring this light vibration, this light frequency, this infinite consciousness. And we're brought to bring it to this plane of existence, to once again align it, and once again to unify it with the infinite source of creation, and the infinite oneness vibration, and the infinite dimensions and realities that we know that each and every one of us were created from and were born from. And we're bringing it back to this time, this age now. And this is the vision of like heaven on earth, but also the vision of what many people say a new earth, a new vibration, and a new vision. And this is what this time is, and this is why it's such an expansive time now. It's such a time of creation. You know, in a sense, we're like in, you know, when they are the stories of the old, you know, where they're talking about, like, you know, in the Bible of Garden of Eden, this is what this time's about, and it has always been. That is the true mystery, that is the true wisdom of, like, the story of the Garden of Eden, is this notion that we're, each and every one of us are creative beings, and each and every one of us has that essence of source creator and source creation within each and every one of us. And each and every one of us can consciously create within our life. There is no limitation. There is only infinite, and there always has been, and that won't change. And just because we've come in human form, that doesn't change. You can't change what you are. And one of these sort of like shifts to this is this notion of the I am creator. And the I am creator is the most sort of like one of the most powerful mantras you can have, because I am is saying that it shifts your consciousness into a state of being, and a state of being is aligning the universe with a vibration of frequency. So if you're I am peace, I am love, I am light, I am truth, any of those kind of statements are infinite statements. And that's how you start to work on the path of self-mastery. And this is what the masters bring. They bring infinite wisdom. And each and every one of them are masters, but each and every one of us are masters as well. Being a master is the understanding that you are light, light frequency, light vibration, light creation, source creation, and you are infinite, and you always have been. And the master sort of understanding is that you are beyond the physical form. And this is what ascension is as well. And many of us are starting to awaken to this. We are awakening to the light vibration, the light frequency, this source creator within each and every one of us, and knowing that we are our reality and we are the creators of our reality. And once you start to do that, you enter into the fifth dimensional reality of perpetual transmutation, of energetic creation, and you have an understanding that you are only, the universe is you and you are the universe, and the universe is only a mirror of what you're creating. So nothing external, nothing out there is happening to you. The only thing is, the understanding is that everything that is creating is only a mirror of what you're creating and manifesting within you, within your consciousness. And this is why the universal law of correspondence is so important. And it's a starting point to self-mastery, and it's a starting point to understanding awareness and consciousness and creation. Because you understand that you are the source, you are the center of all your reality, of your all creation. You are the universe, and the universe is you. I keep using that statement because that's the statement I'm being directed to use, that you are the universe and the universe is you. There is no separation. The separation is like an illusion, and it always has been. And it's only through our human form and our intellectual minds that we separate ourselves. You cannot be separate from what you are at your essence, and our true essence. We are the universe, and the universe is us. And so the understanding of that is that you have infinite vibrations and frequencies available to you, infinite potential that you can create and manifest at will, and there is nothing stopping you. The only limitation is born through your consciousness. The only limitation is born through your lack, your doubt, your worry. And again, worry, doubt, fear are part of the infinite. You know, and so that shows you straight away there's no separation, because they're all creation. You know, and creation is whatever you make it, whatever you create within your consciousness, within your reality, within your vibration. There is no limitation. The limitation is only through what you create. So it's understanding that the universe is here working for you, through you, and as you. It's never been separate. It's never been something that you have to attain. You can't attain something that you've always been. Yeah, and this is the infinite understanding. This is the infinite awareness. And this is, as we shift through this, we start to understand this. We start to understand that you are a vibration, you are a frequency, you are a source consciousness, and that source consciousness can be whatever you want to create it. And in that, we start to learn that we need to play within this world. You know, we play with creation, we play with like these vibrations, and we start to understand that through that we can create, manifest what we want at will. And when we start to do that, then that changes the whole reality. It changes the vision. It changes our reality, and it changes our awareness and understanding. And we can consciously then create through its, and then the world becomes a place of awe, magic, and wonder, and that is how it's always supposed to be. And this is why I went back to this notion of like the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is this heaven on earth place. Well, we're already there. We've always been there. It's just through stuff that we attach to and entangle ourselves with, we sometimes lose that consciousness, lose that sort of like awareness, and that can happen through media things and events happening in our lives and relationships, everything like that. But at our core, we're born as with source vibration, source frequency, source energy, and that's who we are. And we've always been creators. We just have to awaken to it and have the awareness again. So this has been like an insight into a little bit of wisdom around sort of like awareness and consciousness, ascension and awakening, and knowing that there's no limitation, that you are an infinite source being of creation, and each and every one of us needs to awaken to that, the awareness, to know that we can start to create and manifest, and the universe is you and you are the universe. There is no separation. There is no separation, never has been, because of our essence and our vibration, our source that we're born from, within the infinite realms and the infinite source of creation realms and the infinite dimensions and realities of consciousness. When we come down here, we store that source energy, that source vibration. There cannot be a separation because the universe is us and we are the universe. And that's the insight for today. Please subscribe, like, comment. If you have any sort of like experiences that you're experiencing that align with this, some of these insights and this wisdom that I'm talking about, please comment. We're all channels of light, energy, wisdom, and understanding. We all have infinite wisdom in each and every one of us. That's another thing that I've been coming into again. I've always been a channel for information. Like I've had moments through my time and through my life where people ask me questions, and there's a knowingness that comes through that I can answer like give them spiritual insight or wisdom. That's because I'm connected to this infinite wisdom and these infinite beings as they're connected to me, because I am them and they are me. So each and every one of us are that, and each and every one of us are a pure channel of consciousness and wisdom, and we can access that at any time. And that is your infinite self. And in my past, I've had people ask me about spiritual development and their journey, and there's a knowingness that comes through and an insight that I can give them some insight that helps them shift their consciousness, shift their awareness. So if you've got any questions or any things that are happening in your life that you think, oh, I'd like to sort of like post that or comment that, just put it in the channel or the comment box below, and when I see it, I'll come back to you. Have a great day. Please subscribe, like, share with anybody you feel that would gain insight from this, and insight and understanding from this. Please share. Have a great day.